So hello everyone, today we're going to talk about the anti-nuclear power movement. Our members are Pan, Pan, Ơi, and Guy, and our aspect that we're going to focus on today is firstly is anti-nuclear power activists, second one is the dangers of the nuclear power, and the third one is alternative energy sources. So my aspect is activist. So in the movement, I classify the topic into the 5 categories. One is who, the second one is what, the third one is when, the fourth one is why, and the fifth one is how. So the first movement that I'm going to explain as an example is the anti-nuclear power movement in Japan. So first one is who, the residents in the Kii Peninsula are involved in this movement. So what happened? So the residents, mainly fishermen and martyrs, were protesting against the company that going to build a nuclear power plant near their community. So when this happened, it's around 1960 to 1970. So why they're against? After they have lectures from the engineer who study about the nuclear power from the US. The residents are against the nuclear power plant company. The fishermen learn that the fish nearby got effect from the nuclear power plant. Mothers are against because they wanted the children to rest up in the natural environment. So how it happened? So the residents educate other people in district about the effect of the nuclear power. They distribute the leaflets and they fund the activity. One of the activists that involved in this movement is Sanchiko Kume, who studied in major nuclear power. He involved in advancing for the nation's first nuclear lawsuit. So the second country that's going to talk about the anti-nuclear power movement is Western Germany. So the first category is who. So people who involved in this movement are the researcher, scientists, the resident from the Western Germany. So what happened? The residents from the Western Germany were militant protesting using a nuclear power. When it happened, it's around 1970 to 1980. And why? Germany had effect from the Chernobyl accident even though they are far away. So people are concerned about the environment. They are anxious about mortality, and the Western Germany has also a lot of coal supply to support the energy sources. So how they have protesting against the nuclear power, so they form a German Green, which is an environment party, for banning the nuclear power plant. They intervene activity and have recreated the safety requirement to the nuclear builder to rebuild the nuclear power plant. And the last one is the anti-nuclear power movement in Australia. So who involved with this movement? So such as the grassroots activists on organization, the anti-nuclear groups such as the union and the community support. So what happened? So the Australians have been by mining the uranium for the nuclear power plant. People are concerned that it will affect the environment. So when this movement happened, it's around 1970 to 1980. So why they are against this? Because they are mainly concerned about the radioactive in nuclear fuel cycle. The nuclear power can act as a potential contribution to nuclear war. They believe that it can lead to the economic issue and civil rights, and it's against civil rights. So the anti-nuclear power group, such as the Kurds, have started on debated, and the Australian Council of Trading Union also adopting support against uranium mining. So the last one that I'm going to tell you is the overall of this movement. Since these movements are happening in around the world, so I summarize the overall reason why activists are against the nuclear power plant. So the first one is accident, because if the nuclear power plant have accident, it will cause people will have effect physically and mentally. People who live nearby the nuclear power plant need to move out since the waste of the radioactive are not disappear after the accident. And another topic that's very important is environment effect, which should be explained later. Explained later in the dangers of nuclear power. So the radioactive waste can affect the living nearby, and mining uranium can cause impact to environment. So this is all about my aspect. So thank you to listen to my aspect, and I hope you understand our whole presentation.
One of the reasons why there are movement of anti-nuclear power because nuclear power is one of the power that very dangerous to people and environment. Nuclear power is a power that we have to be concerned about the danger of it. When it comes to nuclear power, the risk appear right from the beginning of the process with uranium mining. Moreover, if it has nuclear power, it can cause a nuclear war too. The process that nuclear power affects it since at the beginning of the uranium mining. Uranium was first dug during World War II by US government to create a first atomic bomb. They keep it secret and not tell anybody that living near the surrounding community. After all, they were making a dangerous weapon. People around there start to get cancer. Some studies found that it increased risk from lung cancer to diabetes in communities that near the uranium mines. Second, another danger that people have to be concerned about is nuclear war. When we have nuclear war, it means that it has a high percent that nuclear war can happen. According to one of the people that who study about this, he said that as long as we keep control of enrichment and reprocessing, nuclear power can spread without spreading nuclear weapons. There is no guarantee that United States and its allies will be able to keep control of technology needed to concoct weapon-grade uranium. Finally, another reason that why it is dangerous is about meltdown. Meltdown is an accident in which severe overheating of the nuclear reactor results in the melting of the reactor's core. A meltdown could occur if there was a defect in the cooling system of the reactor that allowed one or more of the nuclear fuel elements to exceed its melting point. If a meltdown occurs, a nuclear power plant could release radiation into the environment. So all of three is a danger of nuclear that we have to be concerned about it, and it is the reason why nowadays there are movement of anti-nuclear power.
As we already know from the previous section that nuclear power produces us lots of issues and risks. It can be shown in lots of different ways, either to the human or to the environment. We have to come up with new ideas on how to solve these problems, and alternative energy is our best solution for now. For the alternative energy, it is another way of producing energy without producing greenhouse gases, pollution, or risk. Many people state the questioning about electricity that has been produced between alternative power and nuclear power. For an example, hydropower can even produce more energy than a nuclear power plant. And IEA Energy Information said that all around the world we use almost 16.3% of hydropower, but on the other hand, we use only 10.2% of nuclear power to produce an electricity. And for another example, source of energy. Energy.gov stated that over these 10 years, US wind capacity has increased for 15%, and now wind turbines is the best and largest alternative energy resources for US. This shows us that we can live without the nuclear power by just use another source of energy, and it still be effective. The disadvantage from the nuclear power is resist both humanity and environment, but alternative energy can provide us almost no harm to danger and is also risk-free. And it also have another function inside it, which is it can provide new jobs for people around the world. Many people are facing the unemployment, but when the alternative energy came in, there are many people that they are manufacturers, solar installer, landmaster of a wind turbine, and other things else. Energy.gov state that the wind turbine has produced jobs more than 600 people around the world, which will lead us to the better economic system in the future for sure. And another advantage of the use of alternative energy is the power potential will also increases when it is in the right environmental. As the wind turbine that is famously used in the US because it has wind energy, and the hydropower that used in Asia because there exists a humid atmosphere, solar power that used in Africa or Saudi Arabia to convert it into the energy into light, unlikely to nuclear power, which always have an unchangeable standard of energy producing.